that vulnerability is what it's always why your podcast works. I joked with you before about just before I got cancer, saying I hope something terrible happens to you, because it's always great when the vulnerability in your podcast allows this other stuff to come out. Then I got cancer, which was my punishment for wishing something bad on you. But I think that vulnerability you have as a performer, as an interviewer, opens up and then allows, especially when you're interviewing people, it allows your guests to admit their vulnerabilities as well. Whereas a more bullish interviewer is not going to necessarily get that and not get that intimacy.
Yeah. I mean, those are the people that I like, I suppose. I like people who are exploring their failures a little bit.
Yeah.
And obviously you can go too far and you can become a bit of there's a kind of self-regard about investigating your own failures.
Yes,
and it can be just kind of whiny and boring after a while.
It can. So it's a very different balance. I have difficult balance. I think with my podcast, like the first few episodes were sort of about me going, why are you successful and I'm not successful, kind of thing, with a lot of my guests, because I had big name guests on. And then you get to a point going, well, actually, things are going well enough for me that I can't really play that.
Let it go.
I've got to let it go, and I can't really play that as a character anymore.
I'm like that with Louis. That's my running gag with Louis. Well, it's a running gag that isn't a gag. Because there are, every time I think I'm absolutely fine and it's just a joke with Louis. Like, for example, the other day I found out that Louis is going to interview one of my heroes. And I also got the chance to interview this person. And but then it came through that Louis had to put his episode out before mine.
Right.
Because which wasn't Louis's decision. It was just kind of, Louis's got a production company and it was kind of arranged through them and blah, blah, blah. So there's all those things. It's just the fact that Louis's operating on a slightly larger scale means that in those situations, I'm going to come off as the underdog, and that feeds my insecurity.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?